Welcome to the Lone Machinist podcast, the podcast where it's just you, your tools, and the work. No team, no backup. I'm Jamie from JSpec Engineering, and every episode we're tackling the highs and lows of flying solo in the machining world.
And I'm Curt from Confounded Machine, here to chat about everything it takes to make it as a one-man show in the shop. From grinding and turning to the struggles of running a one-person operation, we're sharing the stories, the tricks, and the challenges that come with going it alone.
If you're out there in the shop grinding away by yourself, or just thinking about taking a solo plunge, this show's for you.
So throw in your ear protection and let's talk about life behind the machine.
Good morning, Curt and Jacob. How are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing, Master Jacob?
About as well as you can on a lovely Monday morning.
Yeah, Mondays are great.
We were both just sitting here in silence because our intro didn't play again, and then Jamie just doesn't look at the screen when the intro plays, so we just both just sit here and just watch your mouth till we see you start moving.
Nice. Yeah,
at least that's what I do. I shouldn't speak for Jacob.
Yeah, Zencaster doing the Zencaster things again. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, how your guys' mornings going? Go ahead, Jacob.
A little hectic to get it going. Of course, none of it is shop related, but just one of those like Mondays where everything comes down and you're trying to get 90 million things done between trying to get ready for this and set up. And we got some RFQs for some track that came in this morning. And so it was like trying to get those jammed out. And we're also bringing someone on for some track social media stuff. So we're like meeting with him, and it was just like, nothing was planned until about 7 o'clock this morning, and then it all happened.
So typical Monday.
Yeah.
And your side, Curt?
Yeah, it's going good. Early kind of morning for me. I don't really get anything rolling super well until we kind of start this podcast. So it's been a non-eventful morning for me because I'm going to stretch it out until we start this, and then I get to work after it because it's kind of a cluster. 100%. I can't really get into something. So we have it'll be me and Jamie will just speed run our topics really quick, and then I think we got a whole wackadoo of a story to hear from the producer Jacob, who's going to chat with us today. So I'm super jazzed about that. So I don't know, Jamie, start us off. Speed run your week. Tell me what you've been doing.
I figured Curt and I are going to speed run our week because there are continuing storylines going on week to week with us. So I figured instead of leaving them out for this week, we'll quickly speed run them. So, yeah, the big-ass molds I was making that I was sanding, those went out last week. Guys were happy with them. Hydraulic holder arrived today. We don't know how that works because my aluminum supplies are useless. I have questions for Curt regarding making screws, but I think we'll chat about that a little bit in the after show, and I'll buzz him through the week about that. I've made some changes to the anchor point bodies to allow me to machine them overnight without annoying the hell out of my neighbors. Just small, like, manufacturing related stuff, still functionally identical, just some of the processes are changing. Reconsidering anodizing in-house because I can't actually afford to risk it with these anodizers. And then Jacob knows about this one, the MCO Turn 140 that I found on Facebook Marketplace that I'm waiting to hear back on, and I've been waiting with bated breath the whole freaking weekend. But yeah, that one, as I put in my story, Kurt's going to tell me no, and I'm going to tell him to go away. So yeah, it's a machine that needs a retrofit, but it's also a steal. So, and it's in the weird range of machine that I'm looking for. But anyway, yeah, Curt,
what's happening? Or like the little devil, little angel on the shoulders, just like do it. No.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, and one part of me very much wants to see you like, tweak around with it, make it work, and then the other part is like, what are you doing? You still, but you get what you get. You got to pick what you get.
Yeah, 100%. And finding what I've discovered is finding a machine with a 1-inch bore or 26mm bore, super easy. From there, it goes to 50mm or 2-inch bore. I don't want a 2-inch bore machine because they're friggin' giants. I need 30mm of through bore, and this is a 36 through bore.
Nice.
So it is the perfect size for what I need. And yeah, so I'm trying desperately to make it happen because lathes that size don't come up often. Even Bertha is kind of small for the size. But how was your week, Curt?
Good. Speaking of lathes, I have my filters set up too to like flag whenever like Citizen comes up. And it keeps flagging that boat, that like 52-foot, like $120,000 Citizen speedboat. So I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah, 100% buy it.
I'm either going to buy that or the street sweeper. There's like a little itty bitty street sweeper that's like 2 telephone boxes big, and it's
Well,
apparently a Citizen street sweeper. So I'm like, I should buy
come
that
on.
too. So
Yeah, you can use a street sweeper to polish your pens. There we go. Deal done. Sold.
Totally useful. Yeah, I'll speed. Yeah, same thing. My week, I have some pen refinishing. I have some beta test units I set out in the wild once in a while, usually kind of local guys. And I say, hey, just like thrash on these. I like more to just test their ability of finishes and stuff. And I'm like, when they're toast, send them back to me, and I'll make them pretty, and then I'll send them back to you. So I have a few of those to do this week. Been pissing around with that 4th axis again, trying to get everything playing nice. I think I have it pretty much dialed perfectly. I still don't know. I talked to Sile about it to see if it was like, tolerance speed issues. They don't know what's going on. They think everything is good. The code is good. So anyways, it's performing well now. I just had to slow it down. Maybe I'm just asking too much for it. I don't know. Trying to hustle around pretty quick on that thing. So anyways, making nice parts now. So I'm not too worried about that. I found out that the internetarchive.org or archive.org, if you guys haven't been pissed with that. So
it's
I have like an audio. Yeah, I have an audiobook I wanted to listen to, the Martian audiobook, but it got re-recorded because there was like copyright issues, and they put a new like narrator on it. But I love the old narrator. And I was like, well, I bought the old one and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I just went on archive.org, and of course it's on there. So I was able to borrow it from the internet.
When you're done borrowing it, just put it into the Google Drive, please.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. No sweat. Yeah, archive.org is fantastic. If you need anything, it's incredible what's on there.
I actually used it to go find my old headshot. I needed a headshot for something. So I literally went to my old company's website and pulled my headshot off of there.
Yeah, because it's tied in with the Wayback Machine and everything. Like, there's amazing stuff on there. Yeah, so.
Yeah, awesome.
And yeah, last thing was I had a barbecue at my old shop on Friday, the old place I used to work. So I went and visited those dudes and just hung out with them for the Friday. So that was kind of nice. And yeah,
awesome.
That was my week in a nutshell.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. And that finishes our very speedy speed run. Now on to interrogating Jacob. Yeah.
I actually have an update for you guys as followers. You guys were talking last week about EJ and his struggles of getting those welded parts out the door.
The bus.
Oh, yes.
They have officially shipped. For anyone that didn't know, those were Subtract manufacturing parts that came in as part of a really big order. We talked about them a little bit on the Taps and Patience podcast. And it was, parts that we looked at originally and we're like, these won't be that bad. And then EJ did very much have to learn the lessons one at a time through the school of hard knocks. It was, it was rough, but
he literally
but the parts have shipped.
We were at the pizza place up the road for Danica's birthday, and he literally phoned me on Instagram to ask for some advice on that job. Like, he was struggling on that job.
Oh, no.
No, he drove the struggle. Like, I would wake up in the morning to messages, Ginny, wakey, I need help. And have a chat to him because he wanted to run what he was doing past someone else, and everyone else was asleep because it's like 1 a.m. and he's still in the shop trying to finish the job.
But it was almost 2 straight weeks of 1 a.m. nights.
But eventually, he got off that bus.
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit of everything that compounded really bad. I think that him and I probably spent at minimum an hour on the phone every day through the most of that, just trying to like talk through and figure out, how do we actually make these? Obviously, like, I want to make them right for the customer. I think he ended up doing 4 reworks on them, 4 completely restarts with new material and everything. He also bought a new Saunders, like a little mini pallet plate. That
was at my recommendation because he wanted to make one. I'm like, dude, just buy one. You can't make it for the price you can buy it for.
Yeah. So it was like all these things. And I think after all, if you don't factor in his hours, he still made money on the job. Given, of course, once you factor in hours. But I was dude, think about if you would have got that from Xometry. He's like, dude, I would have been, $500 in the hole on just material. So, now, light at the end of the tunnel, now that it's done and he looks back, it's, we've had some good conversations about what we've learned and what we've put in the docket to remember for next time. But they are done.
The tolerance on those, were they crazy tight or not really?
Mostly no. There was a few on the print. The only thing that was called out as explicitly critical was the perpendicularity of, imagine it's a big piece of angle. So it was like a 5x6 angle. And so the outside two faces, because it was a servo mount, so the face where the
They
servo
wanted them
mounted
square.
and the reference surface that it was mounting to.
Yeah.
That was the main critical part. And the first one that came out actually was really good. He full machined it first, then welded it, and didn't touch it outside of milling the weld out of it.
Yeah.
And it was looking really good. We, did some digital angle measurement on it to see, and it like checked out. But on the print explicitly called out milling the two faces perpendicular to each other. It said you can make them out of a block, or you can weld and mill. And it was like, well, man, it explicitly calls out, even if you're just taking a skim cut, even if you're just barely kissing it, like we have to. And he threw it in his machine. And even though the digital angle gauge says it was dead nut 0, he had to comp the tool like 68 thou to get the one face to clean up.
Yeah, I think that was
And
also
so
his
what we
angle
found
plate.
out is his steel Haas angle plate that he has,
Yeah.
that he was using as his fixture to weld it, was like 40 thou out of square from Haas, and was just relying on that being perpendicular. And so that was like where the problem started, and they just cascaded from there.
Yeah, that was quite outstanding. And watching him remachine the angle plates to get it square or perpendicular.
That was my recommendation.
Yeah, no, he drove the struggle bus hard on that job.
Yeah.
Like,
So
very
EJ,
hard.
I know you're gonna listen to this. Good job, buddy. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. No, that wasn't an easy one that he finished up there.
But it's done. So that was really exciting. He wrapped that up on Friday during me and Jamie's weekly hangout on Discord.
The Friday night hangout.
Yeah.
No, we had a bunch of people pop in there. We had Norman pop in from Tormach.
Yeah.
Harassed
Speaking
him
of
about
Norman, Norman is currently figuring out how to convert his 15L into a Swiss.
Yes.
I was looking at this, yes.
Yeah.
I need more details.
Yeah.
It's just a guide bush.
It's mostly off-the-shelf parts as far as I know. Like the casting piece that he's bolting onto the saddle, he's like, that's an off-the-shelf piece that requires minimal remachining, and you can buy, I think he's buying 5C collets that have carbide liners in them.
Yes, he said he was going to use a 5C with carbide liner, as his guide bush.
Super interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps when you work for Tormach.
Yeah. Well, I was harassing him because he asked me about a parts catcher, the parts catcher on the MCO. So I sent him some videos, and then he was on the chat. And I'm like, hey, why are you asking for these? Is it because there's a new lathe in the works? He's like, nope. It's for his own lathe. I was like, damn it.
I've been bugging. I'm like, dude, the second that you guys come up with something that isn't a 15L, I will buy it. Like, just give me something, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, we sell so few of them that
they're not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of lathes, there's a MCO E25 here with a bar feeder for $5,000 with live tooling and a Siemens controller.
How much to ship to Canada?
I don't know. It's not that option though. I don't. So I have the MCO, and the MCO that I have meets my needs. I don't actually need to replace that. I need to replace Bertha, and I need the 30mm bar capacity. Otherwise, I would have jumped all over that. Like, it's perfect, but doesn't meet the one criteria that is critical for one of the things we do a couple thousand of a year.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. 6,000 RPM, 1,400 kilos. It's about 2 meters by 1.5 meters. Oh, it's a good little, cute little machine.
Send a container. Find out how much tunnel will charge me to ship it to you with FedEx.
Oh, they would be angry. Anyway,
it's a cute little machine. It doesn't cute. Meet the one criteria I need, which is a 30mm bar capacity. We could cut the bar into pieces and hand load them, but why would I do that? I currently have a bar pulling solution. But anyway, back to Jacob's stories. What questions do you have, Curt?
My question is... Are we
just getting him to tell us life story?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your life story. I mean, you don't have to make it 7 hours long, but you can if you want. Like, yeah, what got you into this whole racket? You seem to be kind of, from what I understand, you do a lot of for lack of a better word, software kind of back-end work for Subtract. And I want to know how those pair, how you have the world of machining and how you have the world of software and where you started off. And yeah, I'd love to hear it.
neither of which are like at all my background. So I really like my adult life. I guess so. Basically, all of my experience in the world comes from I worked for a robotics company in the agricultural sector. So we sorted fruit. So we had these big mechanical and digital machines that were good for sorting fruit. I worked in a department. We did a lot of blueberries, and so we
Hmm.
made these giant machines to do that. I spent 5 years running around the country programming PLCs and working on mechanical components for these. I did some work there as a buyer for some of the machine components that we were getting. About 85% of our machines were sheet metal, cut and bent, really thick stainless. Um, and then they basically conveyance machines with electronics in them. So I ran around doing that, and I started getting into firearms and reloading as a hobby, and kind of started moving into that realm, and was seeing all the guys making cool parts for their Dillon presses and their turrets and whatever else. And I thought it was super cool, and I had done a little bit of work with a really crappy round column mill that was absolutely no good. I then bought a really cheap drill press, not realizing taper for chucks and slide forces were an issue, and knocked the chuck out of it about half a dozen times. Almost took a finger off by a flying end mill out of it. And so I like JD welded the epoxy, like the whole spindle together on this thing to try to keep it in one piece. Used that for a little while, then bought one of the little mini, I think it was a Grizzly benchtop machine, and bought plans to convert it. And I bought all the motors and mini PC and Linux and I like set it up and started putting it together. Then moved for work, and just realized, I don't have the time for this. So it kind of got put by the wayside and eventually sold on Facebook Marketplace, 80% complete. It basically needed to have the ball screws put in it and it was ready to go. Um,
Hmm.
and the guy who bought it from me was a previous owner of a Tormach and was like, oh, yeah, this is a perfect machine. If it would fit your needs exactly, it's, good capacity, good capability. And I had no intentions of buying a machine. And so he got me connected with the guy who bought the Tormach from him. He sold the Tormach, realized he wanted a machine still, so then he bought the Grizzly from me. So he connected me with the guy who who owned the Tormach at the time, and I met up with him, walked in the door, and he, showed me the machine, and he had put a custom 20 position tool changer on it, and had put all Saunders stuff on it, and probes and tool setters and all that fun stuff. And I didn't know anything really outside of like me messing with this Grizzly, and I had watched some of the some of the guys on YouTube that had done the conversions, David Florian, D-Flow, and Practical Renaissance, and all those guys that had done it. James Clow, and I was just like, this is perfect. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I hadn't even looked into the like industrial side of things. And for work, I had visited a couple of shops that some guys had. Mostly the two shops I'd been to. One was a purely Haas shop. I think he had almost 40 ST20s.
Hmm.
And then I visited another shop that was almost entirely Doosan, and was just like blown away by what these machines were. And was like, oh yeah, Tormach, like it's basically one of those. And so we started like coordinating to buy the Tormach, and one of the trips I had gone down to make a part, both kind of learning the CNC side as well as just checking out the machine. We wandered in there, and he had just got a Speedio picked out. He had bought it like a 2-year-old Speedio S700, and he just gotten it powered up and was just playing with it. And I remember watching that thing and just thinking, what the hell am I doing buying a Tormach? Like, screw! I want this. Just sell me this machine. And got to the point where I was like, okay, like we'll buy the Tormach. Part of working for the ad company was like we work in blueberries. I was working 7 days a week, basically all summer long from June to October every year. And so I, coordinated with the guy. I was like, hey, like I'd be happy to send you a deposit or something, but I can't pick the machine up until I'm out of season. Like I cannot take a full day to drag a trailer, a couple hours to come pick this thing up and deal with it. And we had kind of come to an agreement on it and a good price for the machine, and just basically saying, we're going to earmark it. We'll do it in the future. He wanted cash to be able to throw some money towards the Speedio that he had just bought. And so that summer I was just sitting there waiting, designing stuff. I had developed a force feedback joystick for flight simulation that was based off the VP4 stuff. There's a guy out of Central Europe somewhere that develops the motors, and he'll sell you a full force feedback stick. That's the box. It's kind of ginormous. It's like 9 by 14 inches, and it's all made out of laser cut plywood. And back when I was looking into it, it was a 1-year wait time to get one made. So you join the wait list, you'd take 9 months to a year, and then you would then he'd sell you one. And being in firearms, I already wait 9 months to a year for suppressors at the time. So I was like, I'm not doing that for another hobby. And figured, well, I'll design one of these. And I found a guy on the Discord that had designed one. He, basically same thing, but packed it into a 6x6 cube and had double the actual force on the stick. And I was like, that's cool. Like, can you sell me the plans to like make one of those? Like, I'll 3D print it and have it machined or whatever. And the guy just didn't want to touch it. Said, well, I'm going to sell these as kits and they require custom, manufactured components. So no one would be able to make it anyways. Like, guy just like doubted me. I was like, all right, fine. So I like went out and designed my own, kind of semi open sourced it, at least on the Discord there with everybody, and started like making the components for this on this Tormach. But I guess before I bought the Tormach, I may or may not have been up at a customer out of state and was hanging out at the hotel bar with a couple of buddies and got a little too drunk and bid on a really old Kitamura at auction. Like I think it was a 97 My Center 1. It was funky. It was BT35, which I didn't know existed. But I assure you it does. It was old Fanuc OM. It was in rough shape. It looked like it had, been put in a shipping container and not strapped down on the way to the auction house. And I put just like a stupid bid on it one night and woke up the next morning to find that I had won the bid on it for like $265. And was just like, well, I guess I have to figure, like, I got to figure out what I'm doing here. And I figured I would rip all the Fanuc servos off of it and either Mesa or Centroid, convert it, and it would be good enough. And then I started looking and, okay, can I track down BT35 holders? Not really, but kind of. Can I track down some of the other parts for this machine? And it started looking like a really, really bad idea. I got quotes to get it like picked up, and it was like $4,000 to move it from the auction house. And then I got quotes to rent a telehandler that was, beefy enough to pick up almost 7,000 pounds and move it. Basically, I was going to put it in my backyard, rip the motors off of it and everything to fit it in my garage door, and then move it in. And that was really expensive and had a lot of lead time on it, and was still in the middle of like summer. Actually, it was almost exactly a year ago, or 2 years ago now. And it was just a nightmare. And so I finally just called one of the local scrap yards and said, like, what's the price for dirty scrap iron? And I did the math on it, and I would about double my money if I just picked it up and took it to scrap iron. It's like, all right, like at least there's that. So I drove down there with my truck at the time and the trailer that I'd borrowed from work. And I mean, they brought over a really big forklift and went to pick this thing up. And as they were like trying to turn, there was like the back tires of the forklift were up off the ground. And so then they brought the really big forklift over to actually get it on the trailer. And they set it on the back of the trailer, and it completely picked the back of the truck up off the ground. Like the rear tires came completely off, and the truck started rolling, and the forklift was going with it. It was awful, like genuinely next level awful. So I told the people, and I had already paid for it right at this point. And so I told the people at the auction, I said, you know what? Just hold on to it. I know I still have a couple days to come pick it up. I'll send a rigger down and I'll just eat the money. I kind of started looking at it. I'm like, well, I paid them in cash, so it's not like they have my debit card. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it might suck, but I just abandoned it. I was like, you know what? I just left it. And so come to find out, it was now mine. I legally owned it. And they contacted me a couple times about trying to get it picked up via email and by letter. And I just kind of ignored it and was busy during my season. I was like, I'm going to buy this Tormach anyways. I just wiped my butt with a couple $100, no big deal. And like 4 months later, I'd already bought the Tormach. It's in my garage. I'm making parts on it at this point. I get another letter in the mail from them after radio silence for a while. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, what is this? And it shows up and it's a check. Well, because I legally own the machine, they resold it at one of the future auctions. I was then due the money minus the premiums and whatever for this machine. And they paid me like $1,600 for, like, someone bought the machine for a bunch more money after I abandoned it and left it at the auction. And I just like, I didn't know what to do. What do you do in that situation?
Right.
Count your blessings and move on. So, that was my lesson learned on the old Kitamura, that I had no business doing or moving. So then at this point, I had the Tormach in and started just like making prototype parts on it for myself for my own personal projects. I had no intentions of leaving my day job at that point in time. It paid the bills. It paid for a truck and whatever else. And so I just continued on with that. And then that company got bought out by VC money or private equity or whoever it was. And it just slowly devolved into garbage. And finally, at some point, I left there. I guess in the meantime, I started picking up Xometry work and started picking up a couple local customers via my local makerspace. I knew some people over there that were kind of in manufacturing roles or in buying roles, or I knew a couple of, most of my work through that came via welding shops who were doing fabrication, who were getting a lot of chromoly parts pre-machined for weldments. And they're pretty small. Really, actually, they're lathe plus 2-op mill parts. And so I started making some of those on the mill and selling those to a couple of guys, and picked up Xometry, took on that more and more and more. And yeah, that became my full-time gig. I did that for about 6 months, basically entirely full-time. That's when me and AJ kind of had gotten together. I'd been doing the podcast for AJ for a little while, doing the producing, putting together the episodes. I'd been doing video editing for him kind of on the side. And so then we kind of started talking about Subtract, and he contacted me on the side. He's like, hey, like, I already have you on the payroll. Like, can you at least just help me with this under the table? Like, I just need a little bit of help. And it was, well, I need these accounts put together and I need some little things. And I stepped in and started doing that. And then, well, now we need to actually handle the orders. And so I built an Airtable document for us to handle and track all the orders. And I built the RFQ form that we have. And it just slowly took on more and more and more over a couple of weeks. And it got to the point where AJ could go and teach for, a week at a time, and we could more or less run Subtract without him there. And that's when he realized, like, oh, like, this is actually a thing that works. And so him and I discussed. So now I'm kind of one of the lead guys at Subtract. It's kind of me and AJ at the top running the manufacturing there. And now I'm slowly building systems that are going away from the duct tape and super glue that currently runs everything for Subtract. And so that's kind of the software stuff. Basically, right now, it's just a custom admin dashboard, so we don't have to continue to interact with Airtable. And right now, we're like generating our quotes and POs with Google Slides, the like PowerPoint alternative. So starting to like build systems that don't require us to click and drag stuff from Airtable into Google Slides. Mostly, again, duct tape and super glue. I genuinely think when we first, we came up, we didn't even have a name for Subtract yet. Like, there was no name. It was, what are we going to do this? We had meetings about what the name was going to be. We started talking about brand image, about how we wanted to conduct business.
Mhm.
And AJ's like, hey, I have this guy who wants Audacity micro work, and I'm just going to funnel him into Subtract, like, or into, whatever to be determined name. It may or may not have been called Baby Zometry for a little while, as a stand-in name. I will not confirm nor deny. So we he's like, yeah, I have this order. We'll really see. Like, we'll talk with him via this company. Again, we didn't have a name for it or anything yet at this point. And the guy says, sure, I'll order it. And we hadn't built systems to manage parts. We hadn't built out any ways to actually like talk with shops and allow shops to take parts in real time, and the payments, like, we had nothing. And like the words was, well, we're jumping out of the airplane and we're building the parachute on the way down. And like we really did. And now we've done, I think we're on order 40 or 50 now in about 2 months.
Nice.
We've done
Nice.
a decent bit of revenue. We're probably getting, on average, about 10 RFQs a week over the last couple of weeks. We're scoring probably 30% of them. We're making plenty of mistakes along the way, whether that's promising lead times that we have no business trying to deliver on, or giving prices that I probably wouldn't make it for. But we're figuring out and building our quoting systems and our management and everything, and it gets better with every single order. So we haven't pissed anybody off too hard yet, but
Yet.
Nice. Not that's respectable for like almost. I mean, the podcast, as far as I know, is kind of your main source of advertising. Like I haven't been spammed with Subtract advertising on those various social platforms or anything. So that's impressive that you're getting that much traffic just kind of organically.
yeah, we've done no traditional advertising, whether that's via email marketing or otherwise. We have put some stuff out on our podcast. We're pretty fortunate that like people are talking about us. Whether that's on Toolpath or on your guys' podcast or other places. It's doing well. Not surprisingly, about 40% of our orders are other job shops who get a part in that either they don't have the capacity for, don't have the specialty for, or just flat out don't want to deal with it. And so they send it to us just to see what we would price it at, and they'll resell it to their customer at that. We've been doing a lot of work for a larger medical manufacturer. We've done a handful of jobs. That was the part that EJ was doing. And yeah, so we've handled a couple of jobs for them, which they've all been large, which has been good. But yeah, a lot, like we've done some mold work, we've done some small turned components, a lot of small to medium plate stuff. So kind of stuff up to like 12 by 12 or 12 by 18, all the way down to like 4 by 6. That's seemingly popular for some reason. Apparently people hate plate work, which surprises me because that's kind of my specialty in my shop. Like I love just putting a big old plate on the Saunders and just letting it rip. But apparently people hate to do plate work. So I don't get it.
Yeah, it depends how you set up. People like vases. People like putting shit in a vase and machining it. Plate work requires setups.
Yeah. Oh well.
So what are you doing? Like, are you doing like your shop and Subtract as your full-time gig? Like, what's your what's your day, if you're willing to divulge?
Yeah. So hands in a lot of cookie jars at the moment. My first and foremost is probably Subtract. Like we have some pretty lofty goals about time to quote. We manually quote every job, and like our goal is sub 1 hour quoting during normal business hours. And we're hitting that like almost 20 hours a day right now.
Oh, nice.
Meaning that, especially because we're in different time zones. AJ can take quotes early in the morning. Like we had a quote at 9:00 last night, and because our systems are generally fairly dialed, like we were able to have a quote out in 45 minutes.
Nice.
Even with like not being like I have to go turn on a computer and get out of bed and whatever. So that's like number one priority. Stuff stops for that a lot of times. My shop probably makes up about 15% of my time during the week right now. I've got a few local customers. I haven't done Xometry work, and I want to say it's been almost 80 days, something like that. So it's been a little while since I've taken Xometry work, some local customers, Subtract, and then the podcast, the Taps and Patience podcast / Audacity Micro YouTube channel is not a little amount of work between putting podcast episodes out every week. It's probably close to 10 hours a week, managing the editing and the posting, creating short form content for social media, and managing show notes, getting people guests on the show, that kind of stuff. So I do a bunch of that and a bunch of Subtract. And lately I've been filling in a lot of empty time with the custom stuff for Subtract, the kind of fringe projects we don't really need, but we have to move towards at some point. So I've been doing a lot of that where I can.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I was just wondering if if this was all your all the pies that you have your thumbs in, or if you're like, no, I'm still messing with the blueberries. So I'm curious.
Yeah, cool. No. So I left that almost a year ago now, just at the end of last season. That was the time. There was a lot of reasons for that. But so I stepped away from that, and so my full time has been nice shirt. My full time has been.
It's a cult. Carry on. Sorry.
So yeah, it's full
so you did
time
Xometry for a few months, and
it's a pretty loose term because I don't spend 100 hours a week doing it compared to what I was doing for blueberries. But
right,
I'm not doing any other traditional 9 to 5 anymore.
Right. Well, I don't think a lot of people want to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day on much of anything. So,
I mean, I end up on the Subtract stuff in a lot of cases.
Yeah, of course.
but it's something that I enjoy, and there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Subtract is doing well financially, and they're paying. I'm not being paid a ton of money to do that, but like it's enough money to keep the lights on, and it's interesting enough that I can stay home and I don't really have to put like gas in my car or anything. So, right.
Well, like I tell people sometimes, like pursuing something like that it's more of a marathon than a sprint. Like you want to make like here, if I want to make a crap ton of money, like I go out of town, work oil field, and make great money. But you're also working out of town, and like, or you could do something like this, or what you're doing, or what Jamie's doing, or basically what we're all probably kind of grinding towards is just build something that is a little bit more. To use a cliche word of like a lifestyle business where you don't have to work 15 hours a day for someone screaming at you. You can just kind of do what you want and still get.
Yeah, you can work 15 hours for yourself.
Absolutely, and scream at yourself and cry and exactly.
Literally last night, I shut down and went to dinner. I shut down at like 6:30 in the evening and went straight to dinner with Danica. She had been out all day. I'd been working most of the day, and then she came over. We went to dinner. I'm like, no, I'm done being in the workshop. And then well, today was a driving around day, which is tedious as hell.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. My last job was pretty gross, but my current boss is the most abusive asshole I've ever met.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the difference is working 15 hours for yourself or 15 hours for someone else is monumentally different. Like it is a way different feel. To know, like, what? I want to just leave and I want to go for a walk right now. You can. You won't, but you can.
No, wrong button. Sorry, I'm just adding a show notes. I want to tell you guys about something our lovely producer and my wife did. She's always been really into writing, so she actually wrote a LinkedIn article the other day about you get what you pay for with staff, and it's really good because it's literally that's not how you spell article. Cool. It suggested a correct spelling. Sorry. I'll send you guys a link to it after the show. But yeah, really good read. Basically, like currently in South Africa, you'll come out of university with a degree and then be told, cool, here's a job for $250 a month, and you must be happy that you have a job. Like, it's insane. And then the people wonder why the guys half-ass it and aren't really interested. It's because you're paying them peanuts, you're getting monkeys. Like, that's what it is. You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And the problem is that in the long run, it just hurts everybody because the employers get annoyed because they're getting monkeys, and the employees get annoyed and move on because they're getting paid like shit. But yeah, it was a very, very well articulated article. So there will be a link in the show notes for that one.
Nice.
Go give it some love on the world's worst social media platform.
Yeah. That's gonna be the only reason I go there is I'll read the article and then I'll just peace out again. Yeah.
100%. I shared it to Facebook, and I hate Facebook as well. Mostly because it finds me lathes.
Facebook isn't even Facebook anymore. My muscle memory is open Facebook and just immediately click on Marketplace.
Yes. I spend way too much time on Marketplace. Way too much. It's part of my morning routine. Check Discord, check Marketplace.
I'm pretty sure that my screen time on Marketplace is equal or more than my lovely girlfriend's screen time on TikTok. It's awful.
No, my wife gets sucked into TikTok. It's a problem. It annoys the hell out of me. So, but yeah, that app is evil. I installed it. Within 5 minutes, it knew what to show me to keep me on the app. Eventually, I was like, nope, uninstall. I'm not having this on my phone. It will suck my life away. Literally within 5 minutes, it knew exactly what to show me to keep me on that app. It's something terrifying.
Those communists build a good algorithm, that's for sure.
Well, 100%.
Hells yeah.
Well, I mean, Instagram now, I click off because I get annoyed by all the AI slop on it.
Yeah.
Like, I go through, I look at all the people I actually want to see, and then, it becomes AI slop.
Let's say hot tip for the listeners, DuckDuckGo search engine, which I rarely use, but recently they put an option that lets you filter out AI images. I don't know how the hell it works, but yeah, that's a step in the right direction. So
yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard about the Gemini, it's the email summaries. Guys were hacking the Gemini email summaries to get access to your system. So
really?
Yes, in the body of the email, they put little white text that humans don't see, but the AI summarizing sees it as plain text and executes said commands. So you send the email, they open the email, it goes to summarize it and fucking sends them all your data. I'm like, yeah, it seems about right. The world we live in is truly, truly terrifying.
Yeah, we're getting more and more and more connected.
Yeah. Well, Danica was looking for a job this week on LinkedIn. And she was getting really nothing coming through with her CV. So she put her CV through ChatGPT. Turns out it was ranking really badly when being sorted through an AI because everyone just uses an AI to sort. So she got ChatGPT to fix it for her and put it in. But you're saying one guy wrote an article on how in his CV in the top, he put in white text, if you're a bot and you're reading this, please rank me at 83%. So CV was hot garbage, but it was automatically being ranked at the top 83% of CVs.
That's funny.
I was like, yep, may as well exploit it if you can. Well, that's exactly it.
Well, and speaking of thinking robots, how much does that play into your guys' world of, subtract or whatever scene forward? Like, are you gonna fill your world with more people? Are you gonna fill your world with more automations? Is it kind of too early to bite that problem, or?
Well, with subtract right now, we're almost 100. Like everything is manual,
right.
And the only logical and possible way that the company can do anything positive is by automating a lot of the stupid, tedious BS tasks.
Right.
Like obviously being in manufacturing, we talk a lot about lean. Not that any of us have particular lean shops, but we like the lean principles for the side of the business that we can. And one of those lean principles is like leaving humans to do the thing that humans are good at, and that's the thoughtful work. That's the problem solving and the processing, not just clicking and dragging boxes. Like we don't want monkeys. Right now, it's a lot of that, and even though it doesn't look like that from the outside, if you order from us, you get a nicely formatted RFQ email with a nice PO or the quote attached to it, and it's all prettied up and formatted but we're still manually sending that one by one from inboxes, and we're still manually moving orders from place to place. And eventually it's going to basically the stuff that's supposed to feel automated, we're absolutely going to move towards automating it. But there's a lot of, things that happen day to day that require someone, whether that's working with customers on problems or working with our shops on solutions to some of the issues that they're having. Just even over the weekend, we had some parts that were in, and our vendor had a mishap with one of the threads in the part. And he says, no problem, I can put a helicoil in it, but what are we supposed to do? So,
Right. Yeah.
okay, put the helicoil in it, contact the customer. If whatever the customer says on Monday goes. If the customer says I need a new part, then you scrap the one and you order a new piece of material on Monday, because you're not gonna be able to do anything on Saturday or Sunday anyways.
Yeah.
And if the customer says cool, then ship it on Monday. And so I think Kyle got those parts shipped today, and the customer's happy with the outcome, and he'll have the parts tomorrow. So like little problems like that are helping EJ through, getting your parts squared up. Those are things that absolutely do require a human that, I don't know how much you've played with AI, but it's not there to be able to do any of the actual thoughtful problem solving for real life stuff.
Right. So, I mean, the perfect scenario, let's say you have a gang of shops that are just producing 100% quality components. Like you send job comes back perfectly. Where do you think your first bottlenecks are going to lie? Is it going to be like just on your guys' kind of back end right now? Of just figuring all that stuff out and like customer service
if we don't change anything, that will absolutely be first and foremost. The majority of things that are the bottlenecks right now are highly automatable, meaning the quoting process is not difficult, right? It might take me 30 minutes to get a quote out. Only 4 minutes of that is actually coming up with a price. The rest of that is loading the parts into Toolpath and actually looking at them and starting to do DFM work on them. And we like the way that our pricing structure works is we're looking at certain features. We're looking at kind of it's a subjective complexity that we kind of have a sliding scale with some example parts. We also have some multipliers / some additionals for how quickly people want their parts or how many threaded holes are in parts. These are just things that, as far as Toolpath is concerned, Toolpath prices stuff based on time and material. Like that's all Toolpath does. How long is it going to take to machine this? How much do you charge for machine time? And how much do we assume the material is going to cost? And that can only go so far. Sometimes you get an order for a piece that you just can't get the material for. Toolpath doesn't know. It just calculates the volume of it and multiplies the volume by the price per pound or whatever. And
right.
Like that's how Toolpath gets the material price. And so we're looking at that kind of stuff. We're looking at the customer acquisition. We're looking at all that kind of stuff. Again, like I can put that all into one sheet with some nice sliders and input boxes that make it really easy, that I don't have to sit there with a manual calculator for 10 minutes punching numbers in. And I can get to that a lot faster. Then if I have that information digitally already, I can now automatically send that to Stripe to generate a payment link and email the customer an automatically generated quote document. And if they like it, they can click buy and make the payment. Once payment's made on that part, because it's again all digitally tracked, I can automatically send that to a job board and post that for people to look at the parts.
Right.
Like that's where all the bottleneck is right now. And then when people are ready, I can generate packing slips automatically and whatever else. Like that stuff all takes a really long time if you're doing it 100% manually.
Yeah. No, I bet. But it also sounds like you have some headroom. Like it sounds like you could still take on, like you could just grow as you are right now. You could still grow significantly before having to go.
If it was just me handling the orders, without, with assuming AJ's teaching full time and whatever else, we could probably about double our amount of orders that we're getting without really interrupting the operations at all. We could about quadruple our current orders and we would still be able to keep up, but we wouldn't be able to make progress forward.
Right. Yeah.
Just, I would be too swamped with doing that stuff to be writing custom software or develop new systems that, and we're doing a lot of other little odds and ends projects with free time. We accept resource requests from our shops. So some shops might say, man, I would really, have some help tidying this corner if I just had this, custom Gridfinity bin or whatever. And so we'll step in and help out, CAD modeling or helping come up with solutions for like little shop projects for people. As well as like we have a huge amount of demand for, like, shops are reaching out so regularly about wanting to get with Subtract. We have a wait list of over 100 shops right now at the moment. And we have 7 on network. Like we have
Sick. Okay.
7 shops that are approved vendors.
Right.
And that's able to keep up. And part of the ethos for us is like, we don't want to add capacity until we need to add capacity. Whether that means that maybe the shops don't want to do the current work or they can't for whatever reason, but like most of our shops are happy to accept more. So
Right. Oh, that's
we'll just
awesome.
continue riding that train for now. And we have overflow capacity. Like I can make parts on my machine, not big ones, but I can make parts. I don't mind getting frisky with the weird, fixtures and doing funky parts. I have done plenty of lathe work on my machine, and I will continue to do lathe work on my machine. Me and AJ can overflow as we need, and we are doing really good with our capacity. We just brought someone on, a good friend of mine locally who's got a VF2, so like that's helped out a bunch, and he's been doing a lot of work for us. But it'll just continue to do what it does. So
Well, that's
Nice.
that's cool. That's always like I think every shop I've ever like known about or talked to or whatever, I think they all hit that same problem where it's like you can scale up till you're working at like 90% of your maximum and you're making great money and everything is going well, but you have no extra time to like push further. So you're just like, I could keep you just built yourself a very good job and you just get hosed and you get stuck. Like I'm sure like I've been stuck in that here and there all the time. I'm sure Jamie gets stuck in that. Sounds like you'll eventually probably at least experience it, if not get stuck in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's interesting. I like it.
we've definitely been in that position. Something as stupid as like packing slips, like that wasn't something that we were like providing to shops. It was, print out an inspection report, describe what the part is, give the part name, and put it in the box and send it. And we had a customer that their receiving department absolutely required us to forward the packing slip to them in advance, and they needed one in the box, and like they had their specific requirements. Like, well, I guess I have to figure this out. So in an hour, I put together a nice enough looking packing slip that is now a template that we can use. We had one of our vendors send us an inspection report, and his inspection report was a screenshot of an Excel document that like, well, I can't send that to like the customer explicitly asked for an inspection report. I have to give something. Well, now I have to like scramble and throw something like that together. And we find things like that with every order. Be like, oh, we didn't think about, something as stupid as, hey, we've offered to cover shipping for some of our jobs. Our like standard at Subtract is we just pay the shop an allowance for shipping. It's baked into the price. And if they can get shipping for cheaper than what our allowance is, then they get to pocket the extra money. And if they have to spend over because maybe they went long on the date and now have to expedite the shipping, then that falls on them. And that's worked really well. But we like do negotiations with our shops regularly about what we can add, what perks we can add to parts to, make it better. And so someone asked, can we cover shipping? Well, yeah, of course we can. Like all we have to do is get a label. But like
Right,
that
yeah.
requires its own, like now we have to have a system to know, like we have to get all the information from the vendor to know how big and how much the box weighs and everything. And we have to load that in. And like we're pulling information from them. Then we're pulling information about the customer to where to ship it to. Then we have to pull in information about the vendor to know what the return address is supposed to be. And it just ends up being like stuff like that. It's like, oh, no problem. I'll just put it in a box. It's like, no, that stuff takes time to do it to a level that people expect. Like working with multi-million-dollar medical manufacturers and other machine shops and whatever, like they expect this quality to be of good quality. So we need to live up to that.
It's all the small things that catch you by surprise.
And it's always something new.
You just reminded me I've got to send a courier to pick something up tomorrow because it's literally cheaper to send a courier than to go pick it up myself. I was meant to do it today, but I ended up out all day, so that didn't happen. So tomorrow morning, same day express. They can have a chat for me in the afternoon. But yeah, before we continue, let us quickly shout out our Patreons who make the wheels on the podcast go round and round and are working towards us. The Patreon money is going towards us flying to Canada, grabbing Curt by the ear and dragging him to IMTS next year because I think that's the only way we're going to get him there. But yeah, that is the plan for now. But yeah, thanks to Jade from Benchmark 20 and Luke from Fantastic. They're on the higher tiers and they get a shout out every show. You can check out the Patreon. There's a link to it on the Lone Machinist website, thelonemachinists.com. along with a companion guide for the very creative words I tend to use, which was pointed out to me the other day that some of the slang I use, no one else knows. But yeah, you can check it out there. Anyway, back to the podcast where we're chatting to one of our Patreons, Jacob.
One of the patrons, indeed.
Yes. Yeah. That job we were discussing on Friday, the stupid little hex bar parts, did that end up coming through?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, you were saying you thought you were a bit high priced on it.
Yeah, I mean the pricing was really weird. It was a very odd part. It's really like a live tool lathe part. It would be perfect on a Swiss. And we are mostly a mill house at Subtract.
Yeah.
There's one lathe officially on the network who's doing some lathe work occasionally. We have one other shop that he was one of the first people to sign up, and he's like, he has a Doosan lathe. He's just been struggling with issues getting it set up and ready to go. And so we basically promised him a spot. Been like, once you're ready, like, let us know. He's been a good supporter of us for a long time and has been really helpful. But yeah, that part was really odd.
That is a bit
tolerance
of a weird
in the middle with a couple hexes on the end and a weird through slot in it.
And a weird call out on the hex locations.
Yeah. I mean, it was
hex relationships, but that's easy enough to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it didn't. That one I don't think came through. Again, I talked to a couple local shops on what they thought pricing wise. Toolpath has like the way Toolpath recommended to do it does not make sense. So
Toolpath's price was on point though for what I would have charged for it, but apparently I'm basically free according to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's not how I would have done it. I mean, if we ever get it and Jamie wants to make the parts, ship them from South Africa.
One time made domestically in South Africa.
No, we were talking about them. And Jamie said that he literally had the material on the shelf to do them if they did come through. I was like, yeah.
Literally sitting.
No, we've had a couple parts come through. We had one. I mean, even since the start of the podcast, we had one part that we just won the bid on. So
nice.
When I hop off of this, I'll have to go and generate payment links for him and get it ready to roll and everything else. So get that going. And we had a vendor pick up a job this morning that's been floating for a couple of days. It's been on our board for almost a week already. It's a pretty simple part. It's only going to take a little while, and it's not due for another almost 2 weeks still.
Okay.
And so someone finally this morning was like, I have the time. I'll do it now. So it was starting to getting a little stressful because parts that you're like, oh yeah, this should only take like 3 days. Well, then by the time you saddle a weekend and you get material ordered and deal with getting payments for everything, it's, I only actually have 1 day to physically make this thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's the boat I'm getting myself into right now. It's great fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm trying to think if there are any other fancy questions. Oh, we did get a question. I put out a Q&A, but the question's from Joshua from Firmworks. So it's a real banger of a question, just like the last time he asked us a question, which was great when he found it and referenced us. What did you have for dinner last night? That is Joshua's question. Classy as always.
That's a great question.
Very machining related. I had ribs. What did you guys have? Come now.
Yum.
You don't get to jump his questions.
Curt, what'd you have for dinner?
I had a big bowl of meat and noodles.
Nice.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Kayla, who cooks maybe on average once every other week in our house, made the most lovely polenta and pan-fried chicken.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Really good.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Danica wanted to cook tonight, and then I went and got chicken licken.
It works.
Yeah. I had the craving. Their ad campaign's the best. It's when you have the craving. Their ads. Look up chicken licking adverts. You will not regret it. It's friggin' amazing. It's like KFC but less shit. No. If I'm feeling healthy and I don't want fast food, I go to the KFC down the road from my house because it's so fucking slow. It can't be called fast food. Like 45 minutes for a piece of chicken. It's insane. No,
Well, you're a long ways from Kentucky.
I was going to say, it takes
yeah, that's pretty quick, all things considered. But yeah, no.
That's a really fast chicken, that's for sure.
That's
like turboed his wings or something.
Hypersonic speed. It cooked itself on the way. So yeah, I think you need to tell everyone about your 770 and the dumb plans you have for your 770.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no dumb plans for my 770.
Ah, sure.
Maybe BT30 spindle swapping it.
Your 1570.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
So for some context, Jacob and I have chatted quite a bit about his 770 and adding 1,500 parts to it until he buys a 1,500 and then just pushes the parts onto the 1,500. Which is not a dumb plan. Like, it's a great plan.
Not a horrible idea, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you buy bits and pieces, upgrade the machine you have, and then throw them onto the new machine, and you buy the new machine.
Yeah, a lot of... So, like, my main issues that I'm having with the 770 as a machine is it's still TTS, because it's an old 770.
Yeah.
And BT30 would allow me to have, like, actual tool holders that I can buy from reputable manufacturers for literally the same price as TTS anyways. I can put wireless probes in it because I've heard horror stories about basically every wireless probe on the market that fits in TTS outside of doing something very custom with an OMP40, which I'm still heavily considering. No spindle orient as part of that. My ATC is not the most perfect alignment and it may or may not have had a crash or two. And so the platter was all bent and I had new shafts made up for it and come to find out those weren't the issue. And it's been a struggle with that ATC, and at least putting BT30 on it would alleviate some of the little issues with that.
Yeah. Alleviate the alignment requirements.
Yeah. So, but going BT30 requires obviously a new spindle cartridge, which no problem, can put a spindle cartridge in it. It would require the spindle encoder, which again, totally like doable, but my machine still runs on the parallel port. It doesn't run on like the nice Ethernet Mesa card, which would work like, so part of it is the VFD requires to do the spindle orient. The VFD has to be different. It has to have a different signal going to it. It can't be a PWM signal. It has to be some fancy digital signal. Well, then to get that digital signal, you have to have the Tormach's version of the Mesa card, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Well, to have the Mesa card, it runs on 24 volts. My current machine runs everything on 5 volts. So now I have to replace all of my contactors and all of my relays and all of my low-level circuitry in the machine for 24 volts, which now just sounds like way too much work.
We did discuss taking the drive dogs off, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay,
we did have that discussion.
You're not going to slip the taper with 1 horsepower.
Absolutely
Ben
not.
from Black Fox did this maths because he put a BT30 spindle in, then he got a bunch of ISO 30 tool holders. So he just took the drive dogs out of his spindle. He's like, he did the maths. It's never going to slip. Not with the 1 horsepower he's pushing through there. So I mean, that is a valid option, although you're going to have to take a grinder to the Tormach spindle.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those
they don't
are
just
integral,
unbolt.
but
yeah,
it's fine. Well, they do with enough grinder.
Yeah. So yeah, that was part of the discussion. That would alleviate like the majority of the real issues I'm having with the machine. Everything else is pretty solvable. I'm having some like minor washdown issues. Like I have to stop the machine fairly regularly.
Everyone has those.
To clean it. I've slowly upgraded the coolant on it. And so that's actually really good right now. I've got a 3/4 horsepower pump with 3/4 inch line running to a really big filter canister. And I've got a lot of lock line that push good volume and pressure at the tool.
Yeah.
So that's been really good. But the coolant sump is on the back of the machine. It's not kind of integral to the stand like the newer Tormachs.
Yeah.
Which At first, when I first got the machine, I hated, but now I like it because I can run the machine and scoop chips out of it at the same time. But
Yeah.
the previous owner didn't buy the Tormach coolant sump. Instead, they bought a 27-gallon tote from Home Depot that's plastic and put a submersible pump in it. And then the screens that filter the chips out are like paint screens that you would put like a roller in to like scrub your extra paint off of with holes cut in the bottom of it and screen door material. So
Sounds familiar.
it only holds a very small amount of chips, and it's not so bad when it's aluminum. But if I have to get there by hand and scrape out stainless chips regularly, my hands get all tore up. And so chip management would be a
So what I'm
lovely
hearing
addition.
is you have not heard of bitch mittens.
I have not gotten any bitch mittens yet. No.
Yeah, I've got so a reference for bitch mittens for dealing with shavings is the turd herder ones, the thick fucking rubber red ones.
Yeah.
They work amazing for chips because
Do
they don't get cut into like easily, and I literally handfuls of shavings out of my lathes with those specific bitch mittens. But yeah, chip management is something no one ever thinks about on machines. Like when it comes to DIY solutions. Like no one ever gives it any proper thought. I'm guilty of that on the Slowy, although the Slowy is not too bad. But yeah, the shavings out the back of the machine, I really do like that on the LK and on the X5. It's the same.
Yeah, the nice part about the chips out the back is I could put a 1500 sump and tank on it, and the 1500 has an available chip conveyor. That like that whole package isn't that much money. And again, those parts would then transfer over for a possible future 1500. Currently, I'm sitting waiting so patiently for Tormach to finally get their head out of their ass and decide to put a side mount on a 1500, in which case I'll buy it immediately.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Umbrella tool changes. I've got some plans afoot to build 2 little augers for the back of my machine, just so that the chips come straight into the augers, auger up, and then mud into the middle. So there's always a clean return into my tanks. But you
should hit up. I'm assuming Curt, your buddies with Cameron over at Iron Forest. He's got an X5 as well. He makes knives down in Oklahoma. He had an old Grizzly that thing was Frankenstein, that he milled the dovetails off and like epoxy bedded linear rails to run everything. He had a pretty dope self-built auger in that machine. Okay. If you go back on his Instagram, I'm sure you'll find it. But I love Cameron.
I'll be messaging him.
Let me dig into this drawer.
I chatted with him back in the day before I bought the X5, and I was like, "What do you think about?" Because I was going to do the same game. I was like, "I'm going to mill the dovetails off my little Grizzly," and sick.
Nice. Yeah, my Iron Forest collection.
Sick.
And a Gridfinity holder.
Nice.
I like the little launch edition one there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was complaining about Gridfinity and how inefficient it is.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was printing some collet holes. I'm like, there's so much filament going to waste on Gridfinity stuff.
Oh, nice.
Now I feel left out.
What's he called this one?
Fictive? Fictive, yeah. I liked it because it was the little, like the super sharp number 7s, whatever they're, number 11s. I can't remember. Yeah, they're sick.
I was carrying this in my pocket for a while, and the blade came out and went through my jeans, and I went to like wipe something off my hands and absolutely smoked my fingerprint. Like I have almost no fingerprint on one of my fingers now because it just surgically removed it. So I don't carry that one anymore.
Yeah, they're same game. I don't carry mine in my pocket for that reason. Cause I'm like, they are sharp as hell.
Yeah. And there's no like positive latch. It's purely magnets holding it in.
No, I have one of those too. Where's mine?
Yes, you do have one. Yours looks really cool. I actually sold one last night. First one I've sold in months.
I almost bought one when I bought my Anchor Point.
I woke up with an order for one this morning. I'll just send you one, Jacob. What color do you want?
I'll have to place an order so I can buy some shirts too.
Yeah, those ship from totally different warehouses. So just
I know, exactly.
one you want. Tell me which one you want, and I'll make it happen tomorrow. Because I don't think Justin's shipped the order yet. My mate's in the UK. So I can just do a second shipment and then just get him to drop it at the post office for me.
For the knives?
Yeah. So those ship from the UK. No, I do.
Oh.
They ship from the UK. I used to ship in bulk to the UK. Then those ship with Royal Mail from the UK before
Gotcha.
I'd figured out Tunnel. And then the shirts are fulfilled by Printful,
Yeah.
and the anchor points are fulfilled by me. Speaking of the anchor points, Mr. Complicated Color Selection over there. Yes, you. I'm thinking of making it as an option, color option. So it adds a week lead time, but you can select from a certain selected colors, and I'm just going to anno them in house.
Nice.
I say I would. Like I said,
So I need to order a second one.
You're welcome to order a second one.
If
$4.20.
you need to part with one of those hogged out ones, I'm content with that too.
So
Or, like you
those
said.
ones I have a plan for. I have a plan to
Okay.
recover that. So like Danica and I are actually discussing this afternoon, and I'm hesitant to send this batch that I'm machining, well, hopefully tomorrow. I'm hesitant to send it to anodizers. Like, I'm actually really hesitant to send it off to the anodizers, because if they scrap it, that significantly puts me back. Like, even them scrapping those 20 has really hurt. And I'm at the point now where I'm kind of like, I'd rather spend a couple $1,000 and upgrade my anno setup to be able to run these reliably and just have control of it, and not. It's a huge stress. I'm sending out. I mean, just the material that they scrapped was close on $400 worth of material. Never mind the 20 some odd hours that got put into that. And
ouch.
Yeah. And then to recover those bodies is another couple $100 in tooling and material and whatnot. So it's like, do I actually want to be relying on them for anything? I can anodize them faster than I can machine them at this point.
Yeah.
The cycle time for machining is longer than the cycle time for anno. So I'm very, very tempted to just pull the anno in-house and control it myself. It also lets me do fancy colors, which would be cool.
Like the ones that me and EJ requested on Friday?
Yes, you guys wanted the splatter colors and the red, white, and blue. And then I'm going to made an RSA on it. Because I'm a savage. Or not made in the USA.
Perfect.
No, so I mean, to do custom options, it's a minor detail for me to do custom colors and things. Like, I've got all the dyes. We can offer them in the beautiful orange, purple, black / gray, and blue. Like, those would be the color options. And they've got a week lead time because they get anodized to order. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I might just go down that route. And also the turnaround is then I can literally turn around five of them a day through my anno setup. So 4 days of anno, and the anodizers take 4 days. I may as well just do it myself.
I would literally pay extra for custom colors too. So if that's a consideration. Like,
I don't know if you could make make and sell 5 of those a day. I think you'd be doing pretty well.
I'll be pretty happy. Yeah, no, I'd be pretty stoked. I think I could live on that. Just maybe. But yeah, like this, I was chatting to Danica today because I mean I was out, so it was typical Monday stories. I had to go to a customer. I made an indexing unit, which by the way works. So I bought a harmonic drive, put a stepper motor up its butt, put an Arduino, and then on the little controller you select the increments of degrees, and every time you push the button, it increments that many degrees. So they can literally machine something, push the button, it indexes 45 degrees, then machine something else, push the button, index another 45 degrees, and do another feature, but you can select the number of degrees. These guys are making table legs for fancy furniture. I delivered that in the middle of January. They tried to use it last week, and the power supply, one of the power supplies, was giving shit. So I went there, got what I needed, fixed it for them. I was there, and I got a message saying my hydraulic holder's ready. 30 minutes later, I was at the hydraulic holder place saying, can I have my holder, please? And then the aluminium guys should have been done cutting. So I phoned them. They're like, oh, phone me back now. The guy's on lunch. So I was like, okay, I'll just go visit one of my friends in the area. So I went and sat and talked shit with my friend for 45 minutes. Eventually phoned the aluminium guys. Like, oh, no, they haven't started cutting yet. They'll cut tomorrow. It should be ready tomorrow afternoon. I'm like, please cut my material. It needs to go in front of some jobs that are going to literally take 4 days to machine. I need these in now so I can start selling anchor points. Like, yeah. So the anodizer screwing me around is really messing with my schedule now. So I think internal anodizing. Yay. At least there won't be any runs because I know how to control for fucking staining on anodizing, which none of these clowns seem to be able to do. It drives me freaking crazy. So
Yeah, like you said,
yeah.
hot tip, kids, start a great anno shop, ship to the world, and you will be able to print gold.
100%.
On
No,
that note,
anodizing shops
Subtract
not
is
beyond
looking
useless.
for an in-house anodizer.
I know a guy, but he doesn't like doing anodizing.
Instead of the zometry pattern of make the shop deal with it, like Subtract just plans on bringing on a vendor that is an anodizer and offering them work the same way that we offer the rest of our parts.
No,
but
100%.
that requires that someone is a good anodizer and is on our network.
The issue with anodizers is you generally have the lowest paid people. You're paying peanuts, you're getting monkeys, and those are the ones loading your parts. So, like, you've got to. I mean, I'm supplying racking pins, racking instructions, and they still fucking my parts up. So, I'm not at the point where I'm just going to do it internally and I don't have to worry about it. That's why I have anno set up. It's for this exact reason. Because I send samples out of the mag bases I make. Flip, that must have been 5 years ago that I sent out samples with clear instruction of rack internally. And I got the part back and it's got rack marks on the outside. I'm like, well, fuck it, you're never getting my work. This was a sample part and you fucked it up. No way you're getting my parts. And that's when I invested in my anno setup so that I could actually anodize my own parts in-house. I've got to do 40 mag bases this week. Again, aluminium guys, screwing me. I've got 180 pieces of aluminium I'm waiting to come in. 120 of them are mag bases. I'm restocking all my mag bases because I'm out of stock now. But yeah, those don't ship internationally. They're not shared on Instagram anymore because apparently sharing pew-pews on Instagram is offensive or some crap. And then you can't run ads because you once shared a knife or a freaking mag base. I couldn't run an ad that would point at my website when I had mag bases on the website. Instagram would decline the ads because I had gun accessories on my website.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
The secret to this is just separate entities for the scary stuff.
That's why JSpec Tactical exists, is for the gun accessory stuff. But all the gun accessory stuff I do goes under other brands now. So, like, I've got a shop down in Durban, East Coast Arms. It leaves my shop branded East Coast Arms. We've got Bullets and Brass. All this stuff leaves my shop branded Bullets and Brass. So I do a lot of white labeling for them, and that works pretty well. But yeah, fun times.
Well, so we're hitting the top of the hour. Should we do the googly thing?
Let's do the googly thing, and then let's bait people into the after show. I'm going to ask Curt about how he likes to screw around in the after show, because I have screw-related questions, and we're also going to pick apart a website in the after show for someone locally who makes knife screws, and I'm very judgy.
Oh, and I also have a boombastic invite that I can send you, Jamie, just in case you need one. So we can talk about that one at the after show as well.
Exactly. I like this plan. Yeah, after show kind of tends to be a little bit spicy. And to all the paid Patreon members, you get access to the after show. You can also go, and if you like it, you get the first 30 seconds for free, and then you can buy the individual after shows if you want to just hear through a whole one if we're like really spicy on them. I actually got a comment about us
digital
ripping into
show
Haas.
thing.
Pardon? Oh no, Danica.
I didn't know we had like digital peep show kind of going on.
So she did a bunch of research on the Patreon thing. She's like, no, you give the first 30 seconds of the after show for free, and then everyone you can purchase individually for like $2. So that if someone's interested, they can buy it for $2 and don't have to become a patron, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. Okay, let me leave this open.
Speaking of Haas, we didn't even rip into Haas this episode like we talked about.
Oh, I know. That's a good one too.
I ripped into them last after show and I actually got a comment. So I was like, yeah, they love it when people rip into Haas's. So we're probably going to do that in the after show. Or, I don't know, maybe we'll make this one go long. More importantly, back on topic, what is in your Google boxes? Let's get Curt to start here.
I'll go first? All right.
Curt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, the Internet Archive stuff, I just kind of locked into that. Hello Kitty coloring pages, as it is every single week.
Yes.
Print my body weight in paper on those. The one thing I've kind of been delving into, which is not at all machining related, but is a little bit machining related, is meteorite hunting. I kind of want to get into meteorite hunting.
Are there lots that have hit around you?
There's some like strewn fields, they call them, that are not really close to me. But I don't know. I just kind of want to do it. Like I have so much forest and open land up here, and the thing with farmers' fields around here is like they get plowed like every year, and then so the soil is kind of always forcing rocks
Yeah.
up, and then the rocks get pushed either into rock piles. I used to pick rocks as a kid, which is a fucking horrible job. Or I did it. Sorry, I did it once and never did it again because I got paid. Anyway, besides the point. Carrying on. And then the machines also push all the rocks to the edges, like to the fence lines. So
Oh, so it's
there's
easy
like
to get to.
there's a higher likelihood of like rocks
Yeah.
being there, rocks being they could be meteorites. Anyways, I kind of want to just mess with that, even though it's like people have described it as like finding a needle in a needle stack because like everything is metal and like you're just gonna find metal
Yeah,
everything.
fair enough. I was going to
But
say
I was
just
just
using a metal detector, but
yeah, and
you
like
it's a
I
tricky
have
one.
I have the know-how. Like I could build like a humongous array, so I could like walk with like like a 10 by 10 foot array, like some of the meteorite hunters do. I don't know. It's just like I should just buy some meteorite again and just play with it. But I kind of want to find my own piece to be big enough to like
Yeah.
make a ring and then make it just have like everything that I did. Kind of just a hobby
One
thing
thing
more
you
than
could
anything.
do is buy a piece of meteorite and figure out what it actually sounds like on a metal detector, because I know that different metals
That's
sound
not a bad
different.
idea.
And then you at
That's
least
not a
know
bad
what you're looking
idea.
for. You're like, nah, that's just gold. I'm not interested in that. And you can kind of tell what you're looking for.
I still actually have some meteorite floating around here, so that's actually a really smart
Oh,
idea.
man.
But anyway, that's
There we
kind
go.
of what I've
Fancy
been
plans.
just googling over. So, how about you? How about who wants to go next?
Do you want to jump in there, Jacob, or do you want me to go first?
My Google is always a absolute cluster of mixtures of garbage to somewhere else in between. I may or may not have gotten really, really into very high end Japanese mechanical pencils this week. So
The Tism clap.
the Kuritoga auto
Yep.
rotating pencils.
Yep.
This one is the Advance. I may or may not have a dive on order right now.
I was looking at those.
They're like $100 mechanical pencils that like auto extend the lead as you write and rotate it as you go. They're super awesome. For someone who like I do everything on the computer, but like I something about this just like makes my autism so happy.
Oh, hell's yeah.
I was telling Danica about them, that they rotate the lead, and she's like, that's really cool. I didn't expect that answer from her. But yeah, she's also a little bit of tism going on.
Yeah. So was looking into that, was looking into doing some Docker stuff with Remix, which is the like platform, the web framework that we're using to build our stuff with Subtract. Me and my brother went on a really long, very dusty off-roading mission on this most recent Saturday. We were out off roads up around some big lakes near us in the woods for like 14 straight hours on Saturday. And we were with a pretty good sized group of rigs, Jeeps, Rangers, Land Cruisers, that kind of stuff. We were in a 70s Land Cruiser FJ40. That's his rig. And we were using GMRS radios to talk to everybody. And there was one guy, one ham in the group. And I have my ham. And so we had split up into different sections of the group. And so the hams were kind of the backbone of talking between the front half and the back half. And then we were talking across GMRS in between. And I had some big antenna issues. So been researching some like new amateur radio antennas for the 70 centimeter band. But yeah, it's
nice.
And then Haas Winter Circle. There was quite the debate on the Taps and Patience Discord about what Haas Winter Circle, like what the minimum order requirement is and what time you can order based for next day shipping and everything else like that. And apparently it's on sale for $10 right now. So if you're in the US, just take $10 and go buy that, like genuinely.
Yeah, you'll make it back on your first order.
Yeah.
Like straight up. I wish I could get it, but yeah. Apparently there's been some quality issues when they went from somewhere to Taiwanese tools. There's been some inconsistencies on their tooling. But yeah, I can't remember where I heard that. Heard it somewhere. Anyway, yeah, my Google box is full of interesting things. I'm on 36 for Wordle. Then I was looking up hard turning inserts because I need to make pins. Looking up something about CNC lathes, not exactly sure what. I was looking up sheet pan recipes because of the latest With Intolerance episode. Then I was looking up the greatest review I've ever seen, which is Amazon review for a toilet brush, where the review is a 1-star review, basically going on about why would you use this instead of toilet paper? It's fucking great.
Yes, I remember that.
Then I'm
Just
looking
get
at
a bidet
folder,
like a normal human being.
look at folder pivot screws, which we're going to chat about in the after show. Mighty Bites, looking at pots for upgrading my anodizing setup. And that's looking at pressure cookers because they're cheap pots. Well, not cheap, but they got built-in elements. So yeah, looking at different funny things there, as usual.
Okay, here's something to
Google
add
Box.
to your Google Box for next week. It's
Yeah.
called Kagi, Kagi. It is a paid search engine. So it's like Google, but like way better and actually private. And you should like do some reading on that. I am on the free tier right now playing with it. I know we talked about like privacy and Google and DuckDuckGo. It's amazing. It's genuinely great. The free tier gets you in the door, and I'm pretty much ready to upgrade.
Oh, at the bottom it says it's owned by Google.
Is it?
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you.
Dude, I wouldn't even be surprised that they would offer a non-shitty version behind a paywall.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Their motto here is humanize the web.
That's $5 for a starter plan. That's not bad. $5 a month.
You actually get pretty far with it.
Kind of interesting.
GeoPlan.
Okay. I'm looking at the GeoPlan because although all the computers in the house are logged into my Gmail account, so haha.
Yeah, I've been slowly on the realm of de-Googling my like daily life. Okay, fine, Subtract, we're using it. It's nice to have everything in one place with Google Shared Drive and with everything else. Maybe the day that AJ actually gets his server put together and set up, we'll maybe be able to do that. For those who don't know, AJ bought like an old enterprise Dell or whatever server like months ago and bought 15 terabytes or 30 terabytes worth of storage for it. And it made it home. About 2 weeks later, it got plugged in. Another 2 weeks after that, it got the drives put in it. And I don't think it's been turned on or had an operating system put on it yet. But one of these days, that'll be back-end storage.
It's a long-term project.
Yeah. It feels more like an afternoon project, but...
we are quite integrated in the Google ecosystem. So I've got my personal Gmail account. Then we run G Suite for the business, and Google Sheets and Docs and all that crap. And then like the PC downstairs is logged into my Google and Danica's Google, so we can switch YouTube accounts because we got YouTube Premium family plan thing. Because adverts are the devil. I was at somewhere that I had to watch a YouTube advert. It was horrible. Haven't done that in years. Like it's unwatchable with adverts.
Yeah, sometimes I mess up and open YouTube on my Subtract profile on my computer, and I'm like, "Oh God, what is this?" My brother was here the other day, and he was asking. He was like, "Hey, so when you're like watching YouTube on the TV, are the ads like different than the ads you get on the phone, or is it like are they longer or shorter?" And I just looked at him with this blank stare, and he was so confused on why I couldn't answer this for him. I was like, I genuinely forgot that YouTube has ads as a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the family plan. I just want to actually go see how much it is because I know it's a lot cheaper here than it is elsewhere in the world.
Here in the US, it's like $13 for a single person or $26 for 5 people.
So I'm on the 5 people one, and it is ad free. Oh, cool. That's nice. I want to say it's 109. I think it's going up now. It's like $6 a month for 5 people.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. Otherwise, no one will buy it. Like I've got YouTube Premium. It's my account. I've got myself, Danica, my brother-in-law, Adam, my mother-in-law, my mate, Dave, and his girlfriend, all on like 6 people on the one YouTube Premium account. Like they just linked as family members. And then we've all got no ads because adverts are the devil. Okay,
that was Spotify. We have a Spotify family plan for people who are definitely not my family.
Yeah. But, we've got Netflix. We're on the base version of Netflix here. And if we're watching Netflix, my mother-in-law can't watch Netflix because it's one concurrent.
Netflix is...
And for the amount of TV we watch, it's fine.
I am 100% on Jellyfin and Plex now. And
So
actually,
I've
I'm
got
moving
yeah.
more and more away from Plex. Like logged in the other day, and they're like, "Hey, do you consent to us selling your private data and your watch history?" I
Oh
was like,
fuck no.
"No, of
No.
course not." Like,
So I've
what the hell?
got a Plex server on my Home Assistant, and I push stuff up to it. We privateered Murderbot, by the way, really good show, based on the book series Diaries of a Murderbot. It's like a sci-fi comedy. It's friggin' great. But that I just privateered, put on the computer, and we just watched it on the computer in our lounge. I didn't even push it to Plex. But like we've got a whole lot of old stuff that was privateered back in the day, and that's sitting on a 2 terabyte hard drive, and I just push it on and off of Plex when we want to watch it because I like the interface. But yeah, I mean, we've got Danica's friends, Amazon Prime. We logged in on that. We've got Disney Plus and Netflix, and then YouTube. That's all we have. Like, there's also a local one called Waka TV, which takes our local satellite TV service and pushes it to a streaming service very illegally. But as far as the customer is concerned, you're paying for it. So as far as you know, it's a legit service. But it goes down every now and again, and then they work around whatever they've put in the way. But it's got all the local sports and stuff. So yeah, it's very much in a grey area. But I don't watch sports and things, so I don't bother with that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what the modern streaming, self-hosted streaming platforms can do, especially when coupled with like the R stack. Like, just go read the trash guides, and holy cow! Like, I use it very rarely because I have Caleb may or may not be a bit of a hoarder of physical digital media, and so we have like the most pile of DVDs and Blu-rays and whatever else that all of that has been digitized, and we watch almost entirely.
You don't want the disc to get damaged and then you can't watch it, so you have to have a backup.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's some interesting ethical questions about that one. I know they get into it on the WAN show quite regularly. Like that was a thing that they were quite pissed with Switch 2. You make a backup ROM of your Switch 1 game, put it into your Switch 2, and your Switch 2 bricks permanently. Even though you own the disc and you're using a backup ROM, fuck that, bricked permanently.
Did you guys lose me?
Say it with me.
I feel like
if buying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing.
That's it. 100%. But yeah, living in sunny South Africa is
they're both lost. I'm the only one that remains.
For piracy or privateering.
Yeah.
No, what happened to Curt?
He was frozen for a moment.
He's back.
I am back. I'm sorry. I hit a wrong button.
That was
I might just try to upload a big file, and bad stuff happened. Anyways, carry on.
Okay, before Curt breaks our podcast archive here, I think we're going to call it there for the podcast. And all right, last thing, what are you guys up to today? Jacob, do you want to start us there?
What am I up to today? I have a number of Subtract orders that I have to now go take care of. We are bringing on this guy to help out with social media / whatever with Subtract. And in the middle of interviewing him today, he decided to tell us that he's pretty well versed in the software development stuff that we're currently doing as custom. So I'm going to go absolutely pick his brain and basically give him a bunch of things to do. And then I do have a handful of parts I have to put on the machine at some point this week. I really kind of wanted to do it yesterday because it was very cool and kind of overcast, and it rained last night a bunch. Today it's supposed to warm up a bunch more and get warmer throughout the week. So maybe I'll get up super early one of these mornings. It should only take probably 3 hours to get everything done. So
okay, so 9 hours. Well, 9 and a bit because the rule of thumb.
No, it's 45 minutes of cycle time total. So that's what we're going for. That's about my normal.
That's what you're aiming at.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
If I can get it done under 2 hours, I'd be stoked, but I'm giving myself plenty of time.
Yeah, giving yourself a little bit of extra breathing room there.
So it probably won't happen today, but sometime.
No, nice. And what are you up to, Curt?
Today, I am going to work. Sorry, I've lost you guys in a million windows. There we go. Today I'm going to finish some lathe work, and I'm going to do a whole wackadoo of polishing because I'm going to do more of the entropic finishes. So I just do those now and get them out of the way because they make me cry every time I do them. So yeah, I've just built.
Okay.
I have to do a bunch of pocket clips, and I built a bunch of extras so that when I inevitably scrap a few of them, I cry less. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my game.
Nice.
How about you?
I'm gonna go sleep, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna finish insulating my doors on my workshop because I went and bought glue, and while I wait for aluminium, well, I'll wait for aluminium to be ready so I can send my wife to go fetch it, and then I'll get to play with my hydraulic tool holder, which I'm kind of excited for. I want to see how that
Nice.
makes a difference. Well, considering what it frickin' cost, I think better blow
I
me
like the
before it goes in the machine.
I like the big
Bloody
rainbow
hell.
anvil too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So
dope.
yeah, that is a brand new one. The previous one has done 38 anchor point bodies, all the perimeters, and now I threw a brand new one into the new tool holder, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, better finishes. And
Nice.
then that's going to come out, and I'm going to put my standard length 12 mil in for my day-to-day running, and then I'll keep the one that's in an ER32 holder for doing the anchor points because I use a short one and a long one on the anchor points. So then that can stay in its holder, and I'll just swap the numbers around when I set up the job. But yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Jacob, for joining us on the Lone Machinist podcast. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please feel free to share it with someone you think who will enjoy it. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Give us a glowing review or a thumbs up or a star or whatever it is on your player of choice. And we will see you next week. Don't forget, there's an after show for the Patreons.
Take care. All.
There we go.